On our latest episode, why Jumanji is now reigning at the box office. What? Let's see. How fast is Nintendo Switch selling? And an NFL playoff preview. All this and more as we reach our next stop, the PCC Multiverse. I still had the Black Mirror up there. I'm like, oh, can't read on that yet. Maybe later this month. Hello, and we're back for another episode of the PCC Multiverse. My name is Gerald Glassford from the Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source. We truly appreciate you being part of the broadcast here today. And the other half of Pop Culture Cosmos with me, the man, the myth, the legend behind Humanican Media, it's Josh Peterson. Josh, welcome to 2018 and Happy New Year, my friend.
Hey, Happy New Year. New year, new start, new stuff, new content, new chance for Hollywood to disappoint us. It's all good, man.
It's all good indeed. And I know you've already laid down the law already in 2018. So I know you mean business, and I better mean business too, because I'll tell you what, 2018 is going to be a great year for us, here at the Pop Culture Cosmos. I'll tell you what, it's just very great to have each and every one of you listening out there. We had over 260,000 listeners listen to both the PCC Multiverse and the Pop Culture Cosmos show, plus another 80,000, I think, of Attack of the Humanicans. So definitely that's over 300,000 listeners to our program. So we truly appreciate you doing that on the Podcast Radio Network. And hearing that the Podcast Radio Network will be coming up soon definitely is a great thing indeed. So you want to check us out there when it comes back up, or keep in touch with us on Apple Podcast and many other audio outlets. So we got a great show lined up for you today. I've got Rob McCallum standing by in the Cosmic Crossfire. He's going to talk a lot about what the AV Club put out as far as some New Year's resolutions. We go a little bit into depth into that and break it down on what we liked and what we think about their thoughts on that. Plus, also as well, I've got Tyler Baker from the Fantasy Football Patriot podcast. He's breaking down this weekend's games in the NFL playoffs. So that's definitely something to look forward to indeed. Plus, Josh and I are going to talk about what comic books we'd like to get back into. And also as well, and also as well, how fast is Nintendo Switch selling? We're going to tell you exactly how fast it's selling and why that's a big thing coming up later in the program. But first, Josh, I know you've been reading the news up lately on Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. I know you and I haven't had a chance to catch it yet, but we're going to have to make some time to do so, because ever since the calendar switched over to 2018, Jumanji has been outpacing The Last Jedi. I ask you, Josh, does this come to you as a surprise so soon that Jumanji is now holding firm stronger than The Last Jedi, which only came out Please stand by. Josh is having some technical difficulties right now. His internet has just decided to go kaput. I'm just going to resend him the invite. This is why we don't advertise the YouTube version of this show, because it's the warts and all.
I'm sorry, man. That was I don't know what happened there.
Net neutrality already making its mark in the Peterson home. So, all right, let's go from transfer.
I don't know where we left off. You said something about
yeah, I was going to ask you a question on why Jumanji's score. So hold on. Okay. So I ask you, Josh Peterson of Humanity Media and Pop Culture Cosmos, why is it that Jumanji has been able to hold so strongly, even just released just 1 week after The Last Jedi came out?
I know besides The Greatest Showman, it's not really competing with anything. And it's too, like, I remember going to see the original Jumanji, and it was just a fun movie to watch. It's not one of those things you have to sit there and think hard about. And it's, it has The Rock. It's got a lot of star power in it. But I think for the most part, we're coming to the end of our holiday breaks. Some of us have already gone back to school, but it's just if we're going to the movies, it's just a good, fun movie. It's not something that that's overly complicated or is like the critics really care that much about. It's just something that families can go and have fun and watch. And I think that's something that definitely it has on its side.
Well, I'll tell you what, it also has on its side the fact that it has fairly positive reviews without the negative backlash that The Last Jedi has been experiencing. So that also is something to consider as well, that it actually is very surprising, because I told you first, when we saw the trailer first come out and whatnot, I thought the movie was going to look really bad. I thought it was going to look like a turkey, and I thought it was just going to be another one of those forgettable Rock movies that he has seemingly made over the past couple of years. Well, actually, for a while, because he's made, for every good movie he's made 2 or 3 bad ones as well. So, but I was wrong. This has come out to pretty good reviews, and also as well pretty strong consumer acclaim. And I'll tell you what, it does look like that in the month of January, this could be a really strong movie to contend with for the best viewing, the most popular movie of this month, because it looks like, from all appearances, that there are not a lot of strong movies to come out this month. It doesn't look quite as good as last year, but we'll go more depth into that into maybe our next program on the Pop Culture Cosmos show, as far as the month of January in movies. So we'll delve a little bit more of that on the Monday show. But Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, definitely has some great signs that it is a movie that's going to have some legs, and definitely is going to be a bigger hit than probably anyone, even Sony, realized.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it yet. I don't, it's weird. I don't have any really real desire to see it in the theater, but I'm interested now. Like the good critic, the reviews and all that has got my curiosity peaked. So maybe when it hits Redbox or something, I'll check it out. But no, it's definitely good news. I love the old one. It's got nostalgia working for it too, not in a way that Star Wars does, but in the way that kids growing up in the 90s have that sort of thing. But have you talked to anyone that's seen it yet?
I've heard good things so far from it. Actually, I think the thing I've heard the most is surprise that they thought it was such a fun movie. Like you said, it's not going to be something that's going to make you think. It's not going to be something with some major plot twists or anything of that nature that you have to follow. It's just going in there, and they're put into an environment based off of the Jumanji video game that's incorporated in there, because the Jumanji mystique has evolved from a board game to a video game, which I thought was a nice little addition to the series, and puts them into the world of a video game. And I like that concept. I think it's more modern. I think it adapts very well, and I think that it's done very, very well and beyond Sony's expectations. So it's my phone. So it's definitely great to see Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, give The Last Jedi a run for the money. But I also think it's concerning for The Last Jedi, because the backlash that has hit social media definitely has weighed down the expectations by Disney on what The Last Jedi will do overall. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to go check out the Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle. I'm gonna have to go check it out very soon, and definitely gonna have to comment at some time down the road just whether or not it is that good. But definitely a lot of people are enjoying it. If you have great things to say about Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, share us your thoughts, popculturecosmos@yahoo.com, also as well, Humanican Media, Pop Culture Cosmos, and Game Source on Facebook and Twitter as well. Well, like I said, it's going to be a great program we have for you indeed. We've got Rob McCallum standing by in the Cosmic Crossfire. Also as well, Tyler Baker coming up later in the program with an NFL playoff preview. But first, it is Elijah Harrison, better known as Plasma Z. This is Shadows of Chernobyl, and this is the PCC Multiverse. And we're back with the PCC Multiverse. My name is Gerald Glassford from Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source. We truly appreciate you being part of the broadcast. You know, like I said earlier, the podcast radio network is coming back on the air, and we're going to be, again, a major part of that channel with 3 programs that we are bringing to you. And we truly appreciate anybody who listens to us on there. But if you still want to stay with us on the download, that is no problem at all. We truly appreciate you checking us out on Apple Podcasts, Mixcloud, the ESO Network, the Tangibound Network, Gonna Geek Network, Podchaser, or any of the other dozen podcast outlets that you can get our show on. So we truly appreciate we truly appreciate you making your day with us, indeed, as far as checking us out. So, and I know there is another great programming option with a lot of great podcasts you definitely have to listen to, and that is Humanican Media. And as the curator of Humanican Media, Josh Peterson is here to tell us what's going on with your great and with your awesome podcast network known as Humanican Media.
Well, it's funny you asked that, actually. Yeah, I know we got some program coming out. We got some new Topicocalypse, which is kind of we've been kind of steamrolling those things out lately, so we'll have a more consistent schedule going on here soon. You'll be able to hear a new Super BS on Tuesday night, and we'll be recording a new What About This on Saturday, so stay tuned for that, and you'll know more when we know more.
Definitely, that's a great thing indeed. You definitely want to check out Humanican Media. I love being on one of his shows. It's great when I don't have to hear my cheesy voice as host and all that stuff. But it's great that I get a chance to be on their shows on occasion too, as well. I think it's a great honor indeed. You ought to check out all of his great programming with either Topicocalypse, What About This, the Super BS Gamescast, Inside Sports, and a whole lot more. You want to check it out today on YouTube, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, podcast.com, and numerous other outlets. So, Josh, I know you are a comic book man by trade. That's pretty much how I first got to know you, with the great articles that you used to write on the comic book scene and where the comic book trends were going. You didn't like exactly where it was heading into as far as comic books themselves, and also the comic book adaptations when put on the movie screen. I know you've been going back and forth. I know you've liked certain adaptations that have been put on the screen, but your comic book affinity seems to have been still kind of a little bit off, as far as maybe not going in hardcore as you once did. But I know there's a lot of great comic book series that are changing over in 2018, and a lot of big changes that are being made. So if that's the case, what, if any, comic book series do you think maybe you'd like to get back into in 2018?
Are we talking ongoing or pre-existing series?
Either, any. Because like I said, I know you were a huge comic book fan back in the day. And I know the comic books, the way they were trending, you weren't liking it. So we've talked about trying to get consumers back into comic books over the past couple of years and how we can do that. And is any of them maybe enticing you to go back to the comic book store and picking up a copy?
Right now I've kind of been getting back into Hellboy. I picked up a few issues over Christmas and I've been reading those. Other than that, like Marvel's gotten so convoluted. I know at one point I would like to finish, the end of the Ultimate Universe, but I don't really. The stories don't really capture me that much. So, there's a lot I'd like to get into. I like to get into some of the new, the new Batman runs and there's a couple of Marvel series I know I wanted to check out, but right now there's not really anything that's pushing me into the comic book store besides maybe finishing up the rest of the Hellboy series. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I know Marvel's got some big events planned, and they'll probably have a lot of Thanos related comic books to tie into the new Avengers series. But other than that, dude, I don't feel the need to go into the store right now and pick anything up. Eventually, if I have the time and the funds to get back into comic book reading, yeah, I'd like to cruise into a store and see what they got out there that might be interesting. But right now I'm trying to like kind of look at one at a time. So we'll see what I get to after Hellboy.
Well, I know we're going to talk on Sunday about Thanos because I know a controversy came up recently in regards to Thanos. I know we're going to talk about it on Monday's program as far as a different something new that came out with Thanos in one of the most recent comic books, that touches on his character. So definitely be talking about that on Monday's show. But I hear you on that. It is still kind of a convoluted issue when concerning the Marvel universe and also the DC universe as well. When you're talking as far as comic books to get into, you don't know where to start. You don't know what to do, especially for someone that's a casual fan at best, like myself. I will say that for me, if there's any comic book series I'd like to get back into or like to get into, period, that would probably be The Walking Dead, because I know episode 175 deals with a beginning of a whole new faction called the New World Order, I believe. And I think, well, playing off the wrestling tie-in, it looks part like almost like Stormtroopers, a First Order type deal as far as that's concerned. And I'd like to see possibly where that takes the series away from, I think, the way too long, way too overblown feud between Negan and Rick. I'm just glad to see that that's finally, gone by the wayside, I think, for the most part. And I'd like to see where this new tangent takes it as they take it out of hopefully a small encased area and hopefully take it to a larger, broader process about what the world is like in the zombie apocalypse. But you can't say zombie there. The Walker apocalypse, I guess you have to say, because you can't say zombie. But anyways, I'd say, if anything, I'd say The Walking Dead right now. If anything, I would like to go back to the comic book store and see if I can check that out. But right now, the comic book genre as a whole needs something really that should inject life back into it. I know last year we talked very much about what went on with Captain America's character really going through the ringer as far as good, bad, evil, Hydra, all that stuff. And it really left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths as far as going back to the comic book store. And it's going to take a while to get them back in the store again. So I will have to wait and see. I know, like you said, it is now a big time cost issue with a lot of people such as you and I, and also a lot more. And hopefully digital comics can help maybe reduce that cost by offering great programs. But with Marvel Unlimited and a whole lot more, you have to wait and see exactly what that's going to present to consumers and try to get them back into comic books and not just going and attending those comic book adaptations on the big screen. What are your thoughts on the comic book genre right now? Are you interested in going back into comic books? Are you still a hardcore comic book fan, or do you think at all that you'll ever get into the comic book scene? Share us your thoughts, popculturecosmos at Yahoo, popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Also as well, Humanica Media, Pop Culture Cosmos, and Game Source on Facebook and Twitter as well. And we're back to close out the show. This is the PCC Multiverse. My name is Gerald Glassford from Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source. Thanks again for listening. We just cannot thank you enough for checking us out all show long. We want to give a big hearty thank you to Rob McCallum and Tyler Baker for being on the program today. Josh, before we head on out, the news just broke. Well, actually, Nintendo just broke it, that the Switch is currently the fastest all-time selling console, selling 4.8 million consoles in the United States within its first 10 months. I'm not sure PlayStation is hunky-dory with that, but hey, if they put it out there, they're obviously got the stats to back it up. So I ask you, Josh, what does that mean with the Switch now being number one as far as on top as the fastest selling console of all time?
I'm not surprised. I mean, the fact that I don't know, they have that big thing going for them where you can pick it up and take it on the go, and I think that's the big thing with them is that, you know, because I was talking to Brian from the Super BS Games Cast, and he was saying that, like, you know, there's no way he would have ever picked up Skyrim again just because of what a massive game it is, but just the fact that he can now play it on a handheld made all the difference in his purchasing decisions. So
and pay $45 or more, I may add.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still the idea of being able to play like a big role-playing game or something on a portable system is, you know, you sit down, you play it at home, you need to go, you pick it up, and you just take it with you. And that idea, that concept is really cool. And I think that until PlayStation latches onto something like that, you know, that's just Nintendo is gonna lead the market in innovation.
Well, like I said, they did sell strongly over the holiday season. They weren't the number one selling console in November, which is the big month. That went to PlayStation 4. And the dollars, as far as that, we've reported before, and the amount of dollars in November went to Xbox with the combination of the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X. But that tells me that December was a strong month for Nintendo Switch and that they did come home most likely out on top to get that fastest selling moniker. So that's definitely a great sign indeed for Nintendo fans, and also as well third-party developers which are now seeing the Nintendo Switch as the hot property that they want to put their products on. It all comes down to storage and also the graphic capability, which I think is still an issue with the higher end games that they want to put out. But I think over the course of the next couple of years, you're going to see a lot of these top games go on to the system and make the Nintendo Switch even more valuable, and so it will sell even more. Hopefully the price will drop to maybe $249. I'm hoping they'll see clear as far as being able to do that. But why do you need to when you're selling so well and you're selling so fast and you're selling so many at this point in time and you're selling better than anyone else? You don't really need to. So those people out there who are hoping for a price drop are probably not going to get one anytime soon. But it's definitely a good thing for the video game marketplace as a whole, because when the video game marketplace is healthy, it tells us that people are enjoying video games no matter whether it's on the go or at home. So it's definitely a great thing indeed. And even games that are getting a second life or a third life, or in the case of Skyrim, like a 19th life, that they're able to go ahead and go on another platform and sell indeed. So Josh, any last thoughts on the Nintendo Switch? I mean, you have one. You are have gone back and forth on you know, your enjoyment with it, because there at one time there was a lack of games on it, and you were soundly criticizing Nintendo for that. But it sounds like that's not the case as of right now, and that you're really enjoying your Nintendo Switch system.
So I loved Legend of Zelda. I felt like I was more pressured into liking Super Mario than I should have been. You know, what else? I just picked up Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so I haven't gotten a chance to bust that open yet. But, you know, yeah, I like it, and there was a time when I didn't like it; just collected dust. Yeah, you're right. But moving forward, it seems like they got a pretty strong lineup of games coming out. So, especially games from Square Enix, and it just I'm really want to see like what developers can do now that they know that the Switch is a platform that people are interested in, and so that's my big my big fascination here. But it's one of those things we'll have to wait and see what time holds for it. But as far as gaming goes, it's going to be a good year for them, I think.
I think it's going to be an outstanding year for them as well. And as long as it keeps selling faster than any console, it's going to be something that everybody will want to jump onto, both developers, publishers, and gamers alike. So it's definitely going to be a great thing to see, as 2018, I think, will make the Switch even bigger than it has before. What are your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch being the fastest selling console in the United States in its first 10 months? Share us your thoughts, popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Also as well, Pop Culture Cosmos, Humanica Media, and Game Source on Facebook and Twitter as well. Well, Josh, it's been a great episode indeed. I know you got a lot of stuff you're working on with Humanica Media. Any last thoughts on what's going on with your life in Humanica Media on the way out?
Yeah, no, I just, we're updating our website, so you can find all of our content at www.humanicamedia.com. And, just stay tuned, follow us on Facebook, Pop Culture Cosmos as well. And, we do have a WordPress page, correct, Gerald, that you can check all of our stuff out on, our reviews and all that good stuff. So be sure to check in on that periodically. And, yeah, guys, Happy New Year. Thanks for, helping us start out 2018 strong here.
Definitely, indeed. We've also got, like you said, the popculturecosmos.wordpress.com site, where you can check out actually our thoughts on the top 10 movies of the year and also the worst movies of the year as well. It's our latest post up there. And we've got also a lot of other great stuff indeed. And hopefully we'll be able to have another great year here at the Pop Culture Cosmos and Humanica Media. And it all starts, hopefully, with you listening to us, and we truly appreciate it indeed. So for Josh Peterson, this is Gerald Glassford. It's another beautiful day right here in paradise. It's another beautiful day in paradise right here in the PCC Multiverse. We thank you for listening, and here's hoping you have yourself a great day.